Let's try to look at desktop. A desktop, this is the first screen that you can see when any Windows open. Whether which Windows operating system you're using, when you open up your computer system or when you power up your computer system, what you see is that it displays in your face is what we call a desktop. One of the main purposes of the desktop is to make it easy to access different applications. That is the very fundamental. What is the use of a desktop? Is to help you to access different applications. Way back, it was not easy to use a computer because the desktop was not so user friendly, but they changed it to GUI, graphical user interface. Now the desktop is easy to use. Now if you have been asked to to explain, I know you can not fail to explain what a desktop is. Then let's look at a file. When you open and you see the desktop, it will appear with what we call files and folders. What are files? What are folders? Files, these are small units that can be even kept into folders. Files, for instance, a song is a file. But if I open up something and a folder, then that's one folder I can insert a lot of files. So file, units for storing information that may include a word processing document, a spreadsheet, a picture, a graphic, musical piece, or even part of an application program. For instance, your name, just your name, is a file. Examples of files may include texts, could be reports, could be a badge, could be just a small poster designed. These are small pieces, could be just even your name. That one is what we call a file. Now, let's look at folders. What are folders? Methods of organizing files that is related by topics, by purpose, by type, by program, or even by a project that you are working on. Look, we have maybe 10 students that have graduated and we have their certificates. If I organize their certificates together after designing them, then I want to keep them somewhere. Where I've kept those certificates, that one is where what we call a folder, a combination or organizing files. Files, we've said these are like even your name or names of your classmates or your group members. Those are files. So if I collect those 10 names and group them together and I keep them somewhere, of course many of these may display like briefcase on our desktop. So those are folders where you can keep our files. So folders briefly help us to keep files. So we can look into some other things like hyperlink. What are hyperlinks? These ones will allow you to move from one web page document to another. It can be text with which is usually underlined or in a form of graphics. When we talk about hyperlinks, these are items that you can put on your document. It does not necessarily need to be a web page. It could be even a word processing document. Then you make sure that from Word I can connect to Excel, from Excel I can connect to PowerPoint, and from PowerPoint I can come back to Excel, from Excel I can go back to Access. You connect your as if your work is a website. Those are what we call hyperlinks. Hyperlinks helps us to connect our pages. So briefly, you need to understand some of those nitty-gritties, right? So having uh, explored well those items, then you can really move straight into what we call the internet. Right, you have understood the files, folders, hyperlink. Now let's look at internet. What is internet? Internet, briefly, it's known as international network, which is the worldwide web or the worldwide network that connects millions of computers to share and exchange data, news, opinions, and research results. The internet is not the same as the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web is service that is provided on the internet. Yes, here we have to make a difference that the internet is not the same as the World Wide Web. No, World Wide Web is a piece, is just a service that is provided on the internet. It's like we may say uh, at school we eat, but we didn't go there to eat. It's part of the service that we get upon being at school, but it's not our main purpose. Internet uh, is conclusive of very many things which may not be at levels of World Wide Web. World Wide Web is a service, is a server that mainly data, which is video, voice, and text. But we have seen onto people who are buying onto internet. We have seen cars using internet to move, to drive themselves. We've seen drones moving. That is the internet. Time will come where to open your house will need internet to connect to the server that opens those doors. So internet is broad, though World Wide Web is a piece which is embedded into the internet. Briefly, that is it for now. We can end there.